Today we're going to be talking about if you get to pick where you're stationed at in the United States Army. But without further ado, let's get to it. What is up, guys? Ben Allen back again with another video, and like I just said, we're going to be talking about if you get to pick where you're stationed at when you're initially joining the Army, or if at all throughout your military career, right? But before we jump into that, for those of you that are new, I'm Ben Allen. I did 4 years active duty and a year and a half in the reserves as a 68 whiskey, got out as a sergeant, so I have that active duty knowledge, that reserve knowledge. If you have any questions whatsoever, hit me up on my Instagram at @TheBenAllen. It's the best possible place to reach me. I try to get back to everybody within like a week or so, you know, hang tight, right? But if you want quicker access to me, join my Discord. The link is in the description as well. It's a big community of people that are getting ready to join, people that are already joined, or people that are out, right, like myself. So if that interests you, feel free to join that as well. Be sure to like this video so it pushes out to a larger audience, as well as subscribe, guys, for all your basic training, Army needs. This is the one-stop shop for all the information you could possibly hope to get about the Army. We're trying to hit 1 million in the next year, so I need y'all's help. I post new videos pretty much every Tuesday, live stream Wednesday, and another video on Friday, right? But with all that being said, let's jump into the main topic of the video, which is, can you choose where you get stationed at in the United States Army, right? So the answer is yes and no, right? So initially, like for your first duty station, you have like very like slim chance of being able to pick where you're going to be stationed, right? Unless you get that specified in your contract when you're initially signing up. Chances are they're going to send you like wherever the Army needs you, right? It's called needs of the Army. They're just like, oh yeah, hey, you want to go to, you want to go to Hawaii, right? Oh, too bad, you're going to Fort Hood. That's where we need people. That's usually what it boils down to, right? So most of the time when you get to AIT or OSIT, you'll have this thing called a wish list or a dream sheet, right? People call it different things, but you can put your top 3 stateside bases that you would like to get stationed at, or your top 3 overseas, right? Meaning like OCONUS, so like over the continental United States, or CONUS, which is in the continental United States. And you know, everybody's putting Hawaii or like, you know, Alaska or something. They want to go overseas, travel, Japan, all that stuff, right? And then there's some people for the CONUS side, you know, the US, they're like, oh, like trying to pick the best bases, you know, let's do this, let's do that, hopefully we get it, fingers crossed, right? Most of the time they do not listen to that, guys. Like they don't care what you put, right? It's very rare that somebody like actually get what they want, right? You know, that's why they give you a top 3, because maybe the top 3, you know, they'll send you there. I know for myself, you know, my personal experience, I remember when I was at AIT, I wanted to be stationed in Texas, right? So ideally I wanted to be stationed at Fort Sam Houston, Texas, where my AIT was, because it's super close to home. It would have been great, but that didn't happen, right? So on my dream sheet, I put Fort Sam Houston, Fort Bliss, Fort Hood, right? 3 bases in Texas. That's what I did, and I managed to be able to get Fort Bliss, so that was cool. I hated it at first. It really was not the vibe, but it ended up being pretty chill. Fort Bliss grew on me. El Paso was dope. The nightlife was great. You know, lots of memories, lots of fun times at the clubs. It was just overall a good time, right? So hopefully on the off chance, you know, that does happen, you do get a station that you want. That's awesome. But other than that, you're really not going to be able to, like, yeah, I want to go here, and the Army just be like, oh, that's awesome, man, we'll get right on that. We're getting your paperwork drawn up. We're sending you there. That's your first duty station. No, Fort Hood, bam, there you go. Didn't want that, don't care, that's where we need you. And that's the name of the game for the most part, for your initial contract, right? And with the initial out of the way, right, say you've been at that shitty duty station that you didn't want to go to for, like, let's say like a contract already, so like maybe you're infantry 3 years, or if you're a medic or another MOS that's like a typical 4-year contract, you're coming up on re-enlistment, right? So what coming up on re-enlistment means is you're in that window pretty much to where you got to start deciding whether you want to do another contract or you want to get out of the Army, right? And you go talk to retention. There's an NCO there, a non-commissioned officer, and they talk to you. They lay out, oh, this is what we have available. This is what we can offer you. This is bonuses we have available. They try to get you to re-enlist, right? They want you to stay in the Army because it helps the numbers and stuff like that. And sometimes you can negotiate with them like, hey, I want this duty station, right? And most of the time, it does work in the favor of the soldier trying to enlist or re-enlist, because they want to keep you in, right? So if they have slots at said base that you want to get stationed at, chances are they're going to give you that because they want you to re-up and stay in the Army, because it helps numbers, it helps retention, right? But on the off chance that they don't have what you want available, I recommend, you know, you could play hardball. Just definitely like hold off for a little bit, be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do anything until I get that base. And typically, you know, like weeks, months, maybe a slot will open up, but don't hold your breath, right? You don't want to leave anything to chance. So I would start considering looking into like a second best option if that's not what, if you don't get your first option, right? Or if it's not available, because that does happen. Availability is a big thing in the Army. You know, sometimes they have the slot, sometimes they don't. It also depends on your rank. Do they need E4 slots, E5 slots? You know, this, that, and the other. But most of the time, I have seen people, you know, get the base that they want on their re-enlistment contract, right? Because they have more negotiation power, they understand how the Army works a little more, and most of the time, the retention NCOs want to try and help you out. They want to get you to stay in and have a good time. I will say though, if you've been at your base for a little while and it's not as shitty as it was in the beginning and it's grown on you a little bit, don't believe the term, the grass is greener on the other side, right? A lot of my friends that went to different bases after Fort Bliss, they're like, the grass is not greener. The grass is not greener. It just gets shitty, right? Because leadership plays a big role into that. So keep that in mind when choosing a different base. Like, talk to people, get firsthand experience. Like, hey, how's this place? Like, what's it like? All that stuff. It really helps to do your due diligence and do your research, because it'll better prepare you when you have to make that decision, right? I would also just recommend that if you don't get the base you want and that's like a deal breaker, start preparing, you know, like to get out if that's something that's on your mind. If you don't get the base that you want, like, well, fuck it, I'm getting out, start having a plan, right? Definitely have a plan. And if, say you don't have a plan, you don't feel ready to get out of the military, but you don't want to go to a different base because nothing's good, you can just stabilize for what, I believe it's 18 months now, is what they're doing. I don't think they're doing the year-long extensions anymore. You can do that if you don't have a solid plan. You can just stay at the base you're at, finish off like 18 months or a year, whatever they're doing nowadays, right? And, you know, just get out with the plan, set up jobs, you know, do your SFL tap, all that fun stuff. It definitely helps out, and it definitely pays to be prepared. You don't want to get caught with your pants down, because that big green weenie that the Army loves so much will come and get you, right? And that's pretty much it, guys. Like, that's the video. Like, yes, you can pick your duty station, but not initially for the most part, unless you get it in your contract. Like I said, your first duty stations most of the time are always just decided by the needs of the Army. Sometimes you get lucky with, you know, getting something that you put on your dream sheet, but other than that, I wouldn't hold your breath. And that's just being honest, guys. I'm telling you, like, I remember when I came up on re-enlistment, I was like, I want Fort Sam Houston, right? Still trying. 4 years later, they're like, oh, they're 200% over strength, we can't send you there. I was like, okay, well, I'm getting out of the Army, thanks. And, you know, they tried, nothing, and, you know, it wasn't in the cards, so I didn't get the base I wanted, so I decided to get out of active duty, because I was not going to risk choosing like Carson or Riley or, you know, some other base and just end up having shitty leadership or, you know, moving away from the friends I already made there. Just wasn't in the cards for me. So yeah, guys, that's it. I hope this video helped to answer that question, because I do get asked it a lot, especially through my Instagram, which you guys can follow and ask me questions there directly, which is at the Ben Allen. I try to get back to everybody within a week, so if you want your questions answered, follow me on there. If not, you don't want to follow me on Instagram, you don't have an Instagram, you can join my Discord. The link is in the description box below. It's a giant community. We have like over 100 people now in the Discord, and it's pretty much just a place where you can come if you're a future soldier, a current service member, or a veteran, just to come answer questions for people or get your questions answered, vice versa. It's a real cool community, and we're building it, we're growing it, at least we're trying to. So if that interests you, definitely join and show the support. If you took anything away from this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up and like this video, because it helps push it out to a larger audience, and it really helps out our channel analytics. And if you see this right here, this is our 100K plat, guys. If we hit 1 million, we get a gold one. I want to hit 1 million, so definitely smash the subscribe button, show the support, show the love, and yeah, because I post videos pretty much every week, guys, at least 3 times a week. One on Tuesday, a live stream on Wednesday, and another video on Friday, and some YouTube shorts scattered here in between. So I think it's worth your time to subscribe. But with all that being said, thank y'all for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it, and y'all, and yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Later.